Government of India. GOI. Constituted on 10 April 1969, Godavari Water Disputes Tribunal (GWDT) and Krishna Water Disputes Tribunal separately to adjudicate the river water utilization disputes among the river basin states of interstate rivers Godavari and Krishna under the provisions of Interstate River Water Disputes Act 1956. Incidentally, both the tribunals were headed by Sri RS Bachawat as its chairman, with Sri DM Bhandari and Sri DM Sen as its members. Godavari River Basin is spread in the states of ofTelaangana, T.S. Maharashtra, Mr. Orissa, Old Madhya Pradshsh, later bifurcated into present Madhya Pradesh, MP, and Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, K. and Andhra Pradesh. App. Krishna River Basin states Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh insisted on the quicker verdict of the KWDT as it had become more expedient for the construction of irrigation projects in Krishna River Basin. So the proceedings of GWDT could not start till the KWDT final verdict was submitted to GOI on 27 May 1976. Before the state's reorganization in the year 1956, Planning Commission on 27 July 1951 conducted a meeting of the then Godavari River Basin states, Bombay State, Hyderabad State, Madras State and Madhya Pradesh State excluding Orissa State to discuss and finalize the Godavari River water utilization among the riparian states. The Memorandum of Agreement, page 105 of draft GWDT report, was prepared and later ratified by the participant states. This agreement says that the water allocations shall be reviewed after 25 years, i.e., the 27th of July 1976. Since the old agreement is about to lapse shortly, all 5 states of Godavari River Basin, including Orissa, signed a new agreement on 19 December 1975 relating to the sanction and clearance of the projects, in accordance with certain bilateral agreements entered between them after the GWDT formation. This agreement, together with its annexures, was filed before the GWDT on 12 July 1976. This good gesture expressing voluntary cooperation on the part of the disputing states made further job of GWDT less difficult. The states of Orissa, Chhattisgarh could not achieve concurrence with Andhra Pradesh on Polavaram Dam FRL, MWL, spillway design capacity and floodgates operation schedule during flood season. GWDT has adjudicate this issue and its decision is given in clause V of its final order. Page 25 of final GWDT report. The rest of the final order deals with definition of water uses. Clauses I and II. Water use measurement. Clause 3A and B. Water use and losses accounting in a water year from the storage in a reservoir. Clause 3C. Export of Godavari waters to other river basins is. Clause IV. Agreements related to the Godavari River. Clause V. Godavari waters. Clause 8b, etc. To interpret and implement the various agreements between the states. The final report of the GWDT was furnished to GOI on 7 July 1980 for government approval and notification. GOI accepted the GWDT verdict and made it binding on the river basin states in the year 1980. The agreements arrived between the riparian states at sub-basin level, vetted by all the riparian states of the entire Godavari Basin, and no state can back out of the total tribunal award. The tribunal award is applicable in totality to all riparian states, and it is not possible by not cooperating construction of an agreed, identified interstate project on any ground by a riparian state. Water allocations. The water used under the existing, completed major medium and minor irrigation projects up to 6 October 1975 is protected in all the states. The water use sanctioned, cleared up to 6 October 1975 for the major, medium and minor irrigation projects is also protected in all the states. The river basin is mainly bifurcated into following broad areas to share river water. The catchment area located upstream, U per second, of Parshompadu Dam site. Rest of the river downstream, D per second, of Parshompadu Dam site including major tributaries Pranita, Indravati and Sabari, U per second of Parshompadu Dam site. This river basin area is further subdivided into following areas. Catchment area U per second of Pathan Dam site on Godavari. All the water available up to Pathan Dam site is allotted to Mr. for its use. Catchment area U per second Sadeshwar Dam site on Purna tributary. All the water available up to Sadeshwar Dam site is allotted to Mr. for its use. Catchment area U per second Nizam Sagar Dam site on Manjira tributary. Karnataka can use 13.10 thousand million cubic feet (TMC) under Karanja project and 1.17 TMC under Chakkanala project. Page 86 of original GWDT. Mr. can use 22 TMC up to Nizam Sagar Dam site on Manjira River. Page 90 of original GWDT. App can draw 4 TMC for drinking water of Hyderabad city. 58 TMC is agreed and protected water use under the existing Nizam Sagar project. Page 90 of original GWDT. 1 TMC water lifting from the Manjira River is allowed by Karnataka. Page 133 of original GWDT. Catchment area U per second of Parshompadu Dam site but below Nizam Sagar, Sadeshwar and Pathan Dam sites. Mr. should not use more than 60 TMC in a water year from the waters of this area, as submitted to the Supreme Court. Section 19. Mr. was developing projects for 42 TMC water utilization in this catchment area prior to 06.10.1975 agreement with AP. The total permitted water usage from the water generated in this catchment area by Mr. is 102 TMC. K should not use more than 2.5 TMC in a water year. Page 133 of original GWDT. And AP is at liberty to use remaining waters available at Parshompadu Dam site. Supreme Court verdict. Section 83EB. On Babli project disputes stipulated that the gates of Babali barrage remain lifted during the monsoon season, i.e. the 1st of July to the 28th of October, and there is no obstruction to the natural flow of Godavari River during monsoon season below the 3 dams, Pathan, Sadeshwar and Nizam Sagar dams, mentioned in Clause 2(I) of the agreement dated 06.10.1975 towards Parshompadu Dam. Thus Parshompadu Reservoir is accorded first priority over any other reservoir, major, medium, minor, barrage, etc., to receive the water generated from the Godavari Basin area located below these 3 dams. As stipulated by Supreme Court, central government has set up monitoring committee to implement, supervise the water sharing as per agreement dated 06.10.1975 and Supreme Court verdict. D per second of Parshompadu Dam site. Mr. AP and old MP states can use 300 TMC each and Orissa can use 200 TMC for new projects users. This river catchment area is further subdivided into following areas. Not complete list. Catchment area U per second Lower Penganga Dam on Penganga tributary. All the water available up to Lower Penganga Dam is allotted to Mr. subject to the condition that This project would be taken up as joint project of Mr. and AP. Wada Subbasin. MP should not use more than 9 TMC for its existing, ongoing and proposed projects U per second of Upper Wada project of Mr. MP can also use additionally 1 TMC for its existing, ongoing and proposed projects located in the remaining sub-basin. Indravati tributary. Orissa state can use all the water of Indravati tributary in its territory except 45 TMC subject to the condition that minimum 85 TMC is exported outside the Godavari basin from the upper Indravati project during the water years. When the water export is below 85 TMC, the water made available to Chhattisgarh state is proportionately reduced. Chhattisgarh state should not use more than 273 TMCU per second of Bhopalapatnam hydroelectric project in Indravati subbasin. Sabari tributary. Orissa state can use all the water of Sabri Kolalab tributary up to the point where Sabari river forms common boundary between Orissa and Chhattisgarh states. Additionally, Orissa can use not exceeding 40 TMC from the projects located in its territory for its existing, ongoing and new projects. Further, Orissa can use not exceeding 27 TMC by withdrawals from the Sabari main river up to Silaru River confluence point for its existing, ongoing and new projects. Chhattisgarh state can use all the water of Sabri Kolalab tributary up to the point where Sabari River forms common boundary between Orissa and Chhattisgarh states. Additionally, Chhattisgarh can use all the available water U per second of the listed projects. Annex Your F of GWDT report, located in its territory for its existing, ongoing and new projects. Further, Chhattisgarh can use not exceeding 18 TMC by withdrawals from the Sabari main river up to Silaru River confluence point for its existing, ongoing and new projects. Silaru subbasin. The states of Orissa and AP shall continue to use as per the earlier agreement dated 4 September 1962 and 1946 agreement between Madras and Orissa states. Interstate projects. These agreements also permit to construct various interstate projects such as Parshompadu project between Mr. and AP, Lower Penganga project between Mr. and AP, Pranita barrages between Mr. and AP, Lendi project between Mr. and AP, Bhopalpatnam hydroelectric project between Mr. and Chhattisgarh, Inchampali project between Misti, Chhattisgarh and AP, Lower Silaru irrigation scheme between AP and Orissa, Polavaram project between Orissa, Chhattisgarh and AP, future projects across Sabari River between Orissa and Chhattisgarh, Singor project between Karnataka and AP, storage projects located in MP for water use in Misti, etc. Scientific approach. When rain falls on the land mass, soil absorbs a part of rainwater and remaining part of the rainwater joins the nearby stream by flowing on the surface of soil. Some of the water absorbed by the soil gets evaporated from the soil. Some part of the remaining water in the soil emerges into the surface stream as seepage flows and rest of water collects in the underground aquifer as groundwater. This process also takes place when the land is irrigated by surface water. The surface runoff and the subsurface seepage out of the total rainfall is the available water in the river basin after deducting the natural evaporation loss from the naturally formed water bodies, both perennial and non-perennial, in the river basin in a water year. The water thus available is called primary water supplies, flows in a river. If there is no groundwater extraction, over a period of time all groundwater aquifers get saturated fully and further groundwater percolation to the aquifers would join the river streams as enhanced seepage flows, base flows. Thus any underground water extraction, use from the river basin aquifers reduce the primary water flows in the river basin. When river water is used in surface irrigation, the part of water joining the stream is termed as return flows and the part of water joining the aquifer is termed as seepage loss and man-made groundwater charging. The sum of primary water supplies and return recycled flows in a river basin is the total water available for use. The total available water for use in a river basin is almost 1.5 times the primary water supplies if net groundwater use is also accounted. If groundwater use is intensive or close to groundwater mining, the return flows would be during heavy rains period only, which are below 10% of primary water supplies in the river basin. There would be negligible base flows into the river streams during the remaining period and good chance of river turning into losing stream due to unsustainable groundwater exploitation. Both evaporation loss and seepage loss take place in man-made waterworks such as canals, reservoirs, ponds, tanks, percolation ponds, meadows, sewage treatment plants, water harvesting, groundwater recharging works, contour bunding of fields, etc. Many times land is used for enhanced groundwater charging from rainwater by constructing contour bunds to the fields for better soil moisture and salts leaching from the topsoil. All these works are either man-made reservoirs or man-made other works as explained in Clause 3b and c of Final Order of GWDT. Water reservoir creates space to store water for various requirements such as domestic, municipal, irrigation, industrial, production of power, navigation, carryover storage in future years' use, pisciculture, fish rearing, wildlife protection and recreation purposes. Clause 2 declares each of above purposes water use along with the evaporation loss from the associated storage, the sum of all storages, without repetition, associated with all water uses as the total storage of all man-made reservoirs and other works. The loss of water by seepage is due to natural cause phenomenon from the man-made reservoirs and other man-made works. Clause 3a defines how the water use is quantified, measured for domestic, municipal, irrigation, industrial, production of power and diversions outside the Godavari River Basin area. Clause 3b defines how a water use from the man-made reservoirs and other works are measured for remaining uses, navigation, pisciculture, wildlife protection and recreation purposes, which are not covered under Clause 3a. Every man-made reservoir's water is invariably used for pisciculture, wildlife survival, navigation, recreation, etc. Additionally, though main water uses for irrigation are domestic or industrial requirements, so the actual seepage loss from the man-made reservoirs and other works are to be accounted under water uses for pisciculture, wildlife protection, navigation, recreational purposes as per Clause 3b. Clause I declares that groundwater use shall not be reckoned as river water use. In Godavari Basin the groundwater use exceeds surface, river water use in irrigation, etc. So the actual return flows available would not exceed 10% of primary water supply of the river. Thus as an exception in case of irrigation use. Clause 2b aptly says that the extent of return flows shall not be deducted from the water lifted, diverted for the irrigation use. Clause 3ai. Also, it implies that return flows deduction is applicable for water uses under domestic and municipal water supply. Clause 3ae. And industrial purpose. Clause 3aiv. At the rate of 80% and 97.5% respectively. Clause 3c very clearly says seepage and evaporation water losses to the extent of actual depletion from a man-made reservoir shall be accounted under water use in each water year whether stored water is put to use or not. The water diverted from a reservoir in a water year shall be considered as water use in that water year only. Mere creation of water storage in a reservoir in a water year is not reckoned as water use in that water year. Thus GWDT allows creation of carryover storage in reservoirs for future years' use when surplus river water is available in a water year to meet water shortfall in the river in future water deficit years up to the permitted water uses. This clause implies that the water use permits are from average annual water availability in the river. Clause 8b defines Godavari waters as water of the main stream of the Godavari River, all its tributaries and all other streams contributing water directly or indirectly to the Godavari River. Clause 3c implies that any temporary or permanent man-made bund constructed across any stream point in Godavari River basin system to obstruct and impound the natural flow of Godavari waters shall be considered as man-made reservoir, whatever may be its storage capacity. It also very clearly says seepage and evaporation water losses to the extent of actual depletion from a man-made reservoir in a water year shall be accounted under water use in that water year. Available water for use. From the above elaboration of clauses I to IV of GWDT final order, the total available water in a water year from the Godavari River is sum of primary water supplies, flows in a water year, carryover storages available in man-made reservoirs and other works at the beginning of the water year, return flows from the domestic and municipal water supply within the basin at the rate of 80% in that water year and return flows from the industrial supply within the basin at the rate of 97.5% in that water year. Total water use. From the above elaboration of clauses I to IV of GWDT final order, the total water use in a water year from the Godavari River shall be measured as sum of following: 100% of irrigation water supplies made available to minor supplementary irrigation, water pumped from nearby streams during rainy season for watering dry land crops, medium irrigation and a major irrigation, 20% of domestic and municipal water supply made available in Godavari River basin, 2.5% of water supplies made available for the industrial use within the Godavari River basin, 100% of water supplies made available for diversion outside the Godavari River basin. The extent of depletion of water as evaporation loss from the water storages in all man-made reservoirs and other works which shall include canals, reservoirs, ponds, tanks, percolation ponds, meadows, sewage treatment plants, water harvesting, groundwater recharging works, rain-fed cultivated fields with contour bunds, etc. The extent of depletion of water as seepage loss from the water storage in all man-made reservoirs and other works which shall include canals, reservoirs, ponds, tanks, percolation ponds, meadows, sewage treatment plants, water harvesting, groundwater recharging works, rain-fed cultivated fields with contour bunds, etc. There is surplus water available in the river in 75% of water years after meeting the total water use allocations by GWDT. Present and future groundwater use. For the moderate environmental flow requirements and salt export or alkalinity control in Godavari River, the manner water drawl and losses are considered under water uses and measured in a scientific way, as incorporated in the GWDT final order by the jury chaired by Sri RS Bachawat and its technical advisors is highly commendable when the present understanding in India of a river basin's development phases and its implications are esoteric even after 3 decades from the notification of GWDT verdict. Ongoing controversies. Nizam Sagar project and Single reservoir, Polavaram project, Balamela project and Haliput project. See also Indian rivers interlink, in Champali project, Godavari River Basin irrigation projects. Godavari River Water Dispute. Basalt rock weathering. Major and medium dams and barrages. Location map in India. IWMI Research Report NOS No. 13 quadrillion 145 etc. Indian climate change from Harappa period. Deccan basalt volcanism. Geological Survey of India.